One of the first videos I put out was the 3 keys to our success in the first year. After that, I received a few responses from people telling me that they thought hard work should have been in the top 3, that hard work was a huge reason why either they've succeeded or why their family have succeeded. I personally don't think that hard work alone is going to lead you towards success, and here is why. I cringe when I hear people say, just work hard and you'll succeed. As long as what you're doing, as long as you're working hard at what you're doing, you will eventually succeed. You'll eventually find success. Now, don't get me wrong. Hard work is a really good asset to have, but it's not everything. I know, I'm sure a lot of people watching know a lot of hardworking poor people, thinking that hard work is the key to success. What I would say to that is, be careful to mistake movement from progress. Running endlessly in a circle isn't going to get you anywhere. And I'll give you an example. So a friend of mine works in B2B business, so business to business. He'd been working for a company for about 1.5 years. His ethics were to work hard, to be the hardest worker in the room. And that's exactly what he did. He was the hardest worker, not only in his office, but in his entire company. When they would have in-house competitions, he was always in the top 3 of the sales call volumes. Just making cold calls, outbound cold calls, just trying to drum up business. Top 3 in the entire company. But the only thing was, he wasn't hitting any of his goals. He wasn't reaching his quarterly numbers like his other co-workers were. Even though he was working harder than he'd ever worked before in his life, he wasn't succeeding. He'd been busting his ass for 1.5 years with this company, and over the 6 quarters of that first 1.5 years, he never reached one of his goals. And he almost got fired because of it. We'd speak every few weeks over the phone. He'd call me, he'd be frustrated, he'd be exhausted, he'd be giving everything to this company and to his job and getting nothing in return. So he'd really had enough. It was really a make or break quarter for him. So instead what he did, instead of working even harder, trying to push through the glass ceiling that he felt like he was under, he decided to change up his attack. He was now focused on making less calls, but putting more time and energy into the research of the business before he would call them. He would know everything about their business, their goals, their successes and their failures. He was focusing more on less quantity and more quality, working smarter and not harder. I guess a good analogy is he was running in mud in his bare feet and he decided to put cleats on. Now 6 months after his mindset change, after that pivotal mindset change, he is not only reaching, but he's surpassing a lot of his quarterly goals that had been set up for him. Because he realized that tireless hard work was not working for him, and he needed progress instead of movement. Now this is one of many examples. 2 out of every 3 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and many of them with that false mindset of hard work leading to success, which unfortunately isn't the case. I'm not saying don't work hard. As I said before, it's a great asset to have. It's a great thing to do is to work hard. But what I'm saying is work smarter and not harder. Trade a higher value instead of your time, and ensure that you have traction in what you're doing, so the hard work you're putting in is actually getting you somewhere. I've been seeing it in my business. I know thousands of other investors have been seeing it in theirs, and I know that you can see it in yours too. Last note, just to double down. When you have that goal in mind that you're trying to achieve, ensure that you have traction with the work that you are doing. Make sure you're going somewhere, bit by bit, day by day. You may not be going quick, but just ensure that you have traction in everything you're doing, because your mind and your body can get exhausted really quick if you have movement instead of progress. And you're on a treadmill, just running, using up all of your resources, using up all of your energy, and having that mistake of thinking that you are a step closer to your goals when actually you don't have traction. You're just slipping. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. This is something that means a lot to me because I see a lot of people in my life who are busting their ass, working as hard as they can and not really getting any results out of it. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'll be happy to talk to anyone about this. Thanks, guys.